What's up everybody, this is John with John Fair Innovations and I'm so excited to bring you today's video. So today is a bit of an extension of a previous lesson that we did in regarding distributive law with more than one variable. And if you haven't seen that video, do make sure you check it out because there's a lot of content in there that you're going to love and enjoy. Also, if you do enjoy this content, do make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment on maybe another math topic you'd like me to tackle. If you really enjoyed the video, do make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the videos as they come out, and it really does help the channel out. So if you've done so already, thank you so much for your support. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of times when we're dealing with multivariable calculus, so when we have more than one variable in a problem, a lot of people ask me, well, XY, what does that equal? How do we solve that? And it's a very good question. So let's take the 2xy component of our solution in our previous lesson and we'll solve it. Let's equal it to 16 because that's something people ask me. They'll say, oh well, if it equals 16, what does that mean? And it's, as I said, really great question. So let's try and solve 2xy equals 16. Well, this in itself is actually not enough information because x and y are undefined variables and they could mean actually anything. But let's look at it. So we've got 2xy, which really means 2 multiplied by x multiplied by y. So let's put the variables together in a bracket. So now what we've got is 2 multiplied by the variable stuff equals 16. Well, what number can I multiply 2 by that would make it 16? That's right, 8. So 2 multiplied by 8 would give me 16. So this variable stuff would have to equal 8 in order for this to be solved. Now in algebra, when we take something from one side to the other, we always do the opposite. So 2 is multiplying on this side, so if we take it to the other side, it's going to divide. And 16 divided by 2 would give us 8. So our problem now will read x multiplied by y equals 8. And the reason before I said that it was not really feasible to solve is because this problem in itself is having an infinite amount of possible solutions, which is really cool. So you could have, for example, when x equals 1, well, y equals 8. Well, 1 multiplied by 8 would give me 8. But what if y equals 4 and x equals 2? Well, 4 multiplied by 2, yeah, that also gives me 8. What about when, if I have negatives? Let's try negatives now. If I have y equals -4 and x equals -2, well, -4 multiplied by -2 would give me positive 8. So that's another solution. Well, what if I have fractions? So if we have x equals 8 divided by 3 and y equals 3, well, dividing by 3 and multiplying by 3 will cancel each other out. So that's also going to equal 8. So what's really cool is that if this is on its own, it actually has an infinite amount of solutions. So that's why we would generally leave it as xy. That's why we don't try and solve this, because without it having any definition of its possible numerals, we can't actually solve this. So we would need a little bit more information. So today, let's let x equal 8. So let's say that we were trying to solve specifically when we're dealing with x equals 8. Well, now we could actually solve this because now we've got one variable. So what we've got here is, instead of it reading as 2 multiplied by x multiplied by y equals 16, we've got 2 multiplied by 8 multiplied by y equals 16. And now we have some like terms that we can simplify. We can do 2 multiplied by 8. So 2 multiplied by 8 would give me 16. So 16 multiplied by y will equal 16. And if we take our 16 from one side to the other, it was multiplying on one side, so now it's going to divide. So 16 divided by 16 would give me 1, because any number divided by itself would in fact give me 1. So the answer to this would be y equals 1. So now we have a possible solution. So we've got y equals 1 and x equals 8. And this works because 2 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 1 would in fact give us 16. And we can take it a step further. So in the previous lesson, we got our solution to be x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. Well, let's say we wanted to know what this would equal when x equals 8 and y equals 1. So we just sub it in as we did previously. So we've got x squared, so that's going to turn into 8 squared. 2xy is going to be 2 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 1. And y squared is just going to be 1 multiplied by 1, or 1 squared. So 8 squared, 8 multiplied by 8 would give me 64. 2 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 1, we just worked out that is in fact 16. And then y is going to be 1, y squared, is going to be 1 multiplied by 1, which would give me 1, because 1 multiplied by 1 is just 1. And now we take these and we add them together. So 64 plus 16 plus 1. Well, 64 plus 16 is going to give me 80, and 80 plus 1 is going to give me 81. So that's our solution when y equals 8 and x equals 8 and y equals 1. Well, thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully now that gives a little bit more clarity of what I was referring to when I was talking about them being undefined variables, because they were going to give us an infinite possible amount of solutions. But always stay safe, be kind to one another, and I'll see you next time.